Hey folks, I'm Alex Story with Skill Mammoth Digital, and today is day 22 of me building my agency in public. What this series really is just me kind of using this as like a journal of sorts to kind of force me to be accountable by recording a video every single day, talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, kind of my decisions, and asking 4 questions that help me kind of keep the growth of my company in mind. If you're watching, if you're one of the lucky few that's watching, for you, this means you can learn from me, hopefully, all my mistakes and kind of like, where I'm going, my strategies, etc. And, hopefully, if you're awesome, you can give me tips in the comments or something. But anyway, what this is basically we ask and answer these 4 questions. What did I make, in the last 30 days? What am I doing to get more? What's that sales motion that I'm doing? What's the actual revenue generating activities that leads to me getting more sales? What am I doing to keep it, aka the fulfillment? Like, how are we getting the projects done? Are we getting the projects done, etc., on time? And then, what are we doing to fix inside? What's the strategy that we're doing to build and grow the business? So that's what we do. So last 30 days, I made $40,238. This is an anomaly. It's not a normal amount that I make. Typically, 20K is kind of like what I'm happy with. For August, I'm projected to make about 23K if I don't, build any more into my pipeline. And our retainer is currently around our MRR is around like 13K. But yeah, so only change is a $600 invoice came through that was on retainer. So what am I doing to get more sales? So really, nothing today. It is Saturday, so I didn't do a ton of outbound. Really, it's just whatever my LinkedIn Hey Reach is doing. I don't cold email on Saturday. I do cold email on Sundays. I have like a 5 to 9 spot that like does cold email because my ICP is contractors, so think home services and trades businesses, and there is an element of them, checking their email, getting ready for the work week on Sunday night. So, I typically shake that tree and get a couple replies tomorrow night. Anyway, I do have inbound, right? And I have inbound leads from SEO for my website. So I got a charter boat company. They filled out a lead magnet, a website audit lead magnet. And, even though I don't really do a lot of work with charter boat companies, I'll build them a website. So they joined my email list, and then I emailed them, just a quick little, hey, saw you looking. You have any questions? I'll follow up with them, as time goes, really until they tell me to F off. And then I did get a pricing page visitor as well. I less likely to buy, I think it might even be like a dummy email they put in there just to see the pricing. But, it is something, it's some data that I get that people are looking. And so we'll see what happens. But awesome. So 3, right? What am I doing to keep it? The fulfillment side of things. So there are 8 tasks open, but 6 or 90% done. Today was a heavy fulfillment day for me. I got a lot of work done, like just not enough to check it off the list, but, plenty of work done on, like 3 different websites. I got 1 website done and just sent the client an email to do revisions. And then I'm doing cold email campaigns for 2 of my clients, and I got those primed and ready for Monday. I just got to do a little bit of cleanup for the verification for the emails and some copy tweaking and personalization, and then back in automation for their go high level. But that'll be fine. And then I have a couple like pending app automation things that I'm doing. One of the automations I'm building uses a scraper that I got to get around some bot protection for it. So I think it's Bright Data that I'm using to do some proxy work to get through there, but whatever, you get it. But yeah, I'll finish them tomorrow morning, right? That's where I have some time blocked to kind of get those 60 or 90% to 100%. I should go to sleep soon. It's like 11 o'clock here as I record this, but yeah, we're going to see the Odyssey and IMAX, right? It's at like a 2 p.m. showing. That's just what you have to do to see it in IMAX, I guess, these days, 2 weeks after the movie came out on 2 p.m. on a Sunday. But yeah, tomorrow morning, I'm going to try and finish it before I have to go to the movie. And then lastly, strategy-wise, so this is going to spend some time on this to tell you like what I plan on doing. So over the last kind of like week or so, I've been kind of hemming and hawing about my go-to-market because right now, Skill Mammoth is kind of, we are, I would say we're a company, right? We do great work for our clients, but I don't know if we have a real go-to-market strategy on like what are we shooting for, who are the clients that we're trying to get, what type of company are we. We kind of just like, hey, we'll charge you $299, and then like some clients are at $1,500, some clients are $299, whatever. So what I'm trying to say is I've been thinking about, should I go up market or down market for the last week? And I think I finally have an answer. And the answer is both, really. But I think we're going to go after, we're not going to even pitch kind of like our more expensive plans, just because I think those will be easier to close on the call and, really easy to say yes to because the investment is very, very low up front. And then just build our MRR higher, 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 right? And obviously, if I can get some, more expensive builds, and whatnot, we'll be good to go. So this is kind of the strategy that I want to break down. So for cold email and cold outreach and just cold in general, and like maybe even some inbounds that answer their budget's really low, I am going to lead with the low ticket. Low ticket, smart website with all the built-in automations, built by AI, but looks amazing because of all the skills that we have in place. So it's easy yes on a cold open, right? Then, hopefully they ascend later on, right? Worst case, it's a cheap enough offer that the churn rate's going to be really low. Just looking at other industries, we're looking at like a 30-month, churn rate on average at this prices for SMBs. So I'm fine with that because, the LTV is pretty high, even at the, the price point. But obviously I'd love to ascend them as they grow, and trust us more into like full stack agency kind of like relationship. Cause I'd love, to have like 10 awesome like roofers that are doing like 2 million plus a year and they're paying me like, $5,000 a month, right? That'd be perfect. Anyway, you get it. For inbound, I don't lead with the low ticket. I start at that middle rung kind of, because they already trust me, they already like me because they were brought in by inbound or they were referred by a client. I don't really mention the bare bones plan. I just use it as a downsell if I get like the feeling that they, are like, ooh, super shocked by the price or whatnot, right? So anyway, so here's the pricing logic that I'm thinking. I'm using Nick Saraev's kind of recent advice about pricing, more non-rounded because it looks like I put some thought into it. So instead of like normally I do a one-time build for $3,000. So to give you some context, right? We spent a lot of time historically on the design and development and like look and feel of the websites. For these ones, I'm just going to do templated but AI enhanced. So they should still like look, feel, and operate better like than a JHL, Wix, or Squarespace site. But, it's really going to be, pick your colors. Here's your logo. Give me your photos and your phone number and like your email, and boom, this website's up and running. Versus like some of the more fancy stuff that we do with like motion and like, custom lead magnets and that kind of stuff with our typical engagement. But then ongoing $325 a month, right? So that's kind of the pricing. $325 a month, that includes, all the automations. It includes, up to 2 edit requests per month from us. It includes right now a quarterly strategy call with me, but that's really, beyond, right, giving them some strategic value. It's honestly just an opportunity for me to manage the account and potentially upsell them. But yeah, month one is $803, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. If I can close 5 of these a month, that's $4,000 in this month revenue. And it also adds, roughly $1,500 a month in MRR, just with 5 closes, right? That's like a little bit more than 1 a week. I think that's super doable at this price point. At this price point, it should also, for the people that do book calls, I think my close rate's going to be pretty high, even on cold, right? I think we're going to be like maybe like a 50%. Maybe that's too optimistic, but at this price point, it is, unless I'm bad at my job, with everything that's included, they'd be stupid to say no to it for $803. And hell, we have Klarna set up too. So if they want to pay overtime, do it, right? Pay that build fee over time, then $325 a month, you're good. We'll build your stuff. Now, here's what I'm hoping, right? This isn't guaranteed, but I'm thinking about like how can I move my LTV up to kind of get that first month return, or or just increase my MR over time. So I do want to still offer that custom build, the stuff that I typically do with like historical clients where it's like, full 30-page website. We've got the service area pages, the location pages, the industry pages. We spend time to build like a custom lead magnet that gets clicks versus like a standard contact form. We spend all this time doing design mockups and development. Normally that's $3K up front. So maybe I could do it like an add-on, like you lock in for a 12-month contract, which I'm fine with because that decreases churn. And then it's $275 a month, right? So a little bit more expensive than if they would have paid it in full. But, that brings them to, what is that, $700 a month? And, they have that custom build. And then, obviously we can move them up as well. We have a $700 a month plan. That's where we do real local SEO work and we start doing like content for them and whatnot. That's where I'd love everyone to land, is at $700 a month. With the custom build, that'd be about $1,000 a month, right? Then obviously higher, right? To as we add on. But anyway, why I think this works, I kind of mentioned this already, but because the actual cost is under $500 a month, it's an easy yes for most SMBs, and it's also like a line item, right? It's not like once you get past $500 a month, in this industry, with contractors, small businesses, they're thinking like, oh my gosh, I had a lean month. Where can I save money? Oh, I'm paying Skill Mammoth $1,000 a month. Let's cut that. But under $500 a month, they don't really churn. So that's what I'm thinking, that 325 kind of lives because, looking at other industries, like I said, it's like a 30-month typical lifetime value. And that's like $9,000, right? So anyway, you get it. So that's kind of my plan. I think, that, it's right on screen here. Get them in cheap, grow them for years, and hopefully, a certain percentage of them ascend over time. And I think that'd be awesome. Plus, it's a lot of logos, right? Lots of proof, lots of logos to put on your website and in your copy for email and whatnot. Maximize the surface area. Also, from an SEO and like website agency perspective, the built by Skill Mammoth little footer that we have on these websites does pass on some authority to our own website. So the more websites we build, the more organic traffic we get to our website, just from the authority in our website building up and our pages starting to rank higher on Google. So there's a little bit of like a snowball effect as well, the more logos we get. But I'm going all in on this. This is the pitch, right? Pricing is super, super easy now. I just got to figure out like, how do I get people on the call, right? So once they give me a positive reply, how do I book them on a call? Because I feel like once they see this price, this offer on the call, they're going to say yes no matter what, right? So awesome. Anyway, I feel like I'm yapping and I got to get to bed. So we're going to just go ahead and get this uploaded, and hopefully this made some sense. If you guys have thoughts on this, let me know. Obviously, thank you for checking us out and seeing us grow.